Hello everybody. I think we ended last week's Friday vlog with that never to be repeated image of me with red paint all over my face. So let me begin this week with a small advertorial for the Recovery Games event at Hatfield in 2 Saturdays time, 14th of September. Do be there. It's going to be fantastic, and always it is sunny and a lot of fun. I wanted to reflect this week on our learning half days, and obviously I can only reflect on my own experiences and experiences that people that are different in different parts of the organisation have taken time and trouble to share with me. So I'm going to do that, and I also want to touch on a couple of other key messages, so stay tuned. None of them are flu, but flu vaccination coming very soon. 16th September or week thereof is when we expect to get started, and Steve Forsyth is personally going to get involved in trying to support people who previously have personally declined to have flu vaccine. We really want to understand the reasons that people have confidentially for that, and any of those reasons that may come from scientific misperception and other issues. Learning half days, I think, are an extraordinarily important part of the RDASH that we are trying to co-construct together. I hope you had a fantastic Tuesday afternoon. I myself did some Oliver McGowan training. I had the opportunity to spend what I thought was quality time with 2 members of our senior safeguarding team, both for adults and children. Listened to some work on fraud that's been done, and joined our women's staff network as an ally as well. My point is that quite a lot can be packed in to 4 hours. It's a chunk of time, and actually there is an opportunity to take diverse experiences over the course of that time. But maybe next time I'll sit in just the one place and do just the one thing for that 4 hours. I heard from people this felt like time back to you. I heard from some people they're dead busy and this was an interruption. And we need to give ourselves permission to get beyond that, because some of that dead busy is people are dead busy, and some of it is that we're conditioned within our services often to not create time for ourselves. There's something discomforting about doing that. Feels like we're letting somebody down, either the patient or a colleague. And it's really important just for those 4 hours in the month that we give ourselves permission, and we give each other permission to get beyond those feelings, natural as those feelings are. I heard from people that they expected they wouldn't be able to go if they were a certain part of the hierarchy of the organisation. Maybe if somebody works in clinical administration or works as a PA, that maybe this wasn't for them. And I hope, and I've heard this a lot, people felt welcomed, that their voice was heard, that they weren't in the seat at the back, that they were a full and contributing member. And I know in a lot of teams that some of the time on learning half days was spent constructively thinking about, okay, what we're going to do on the 10th of October, what we're going to do in November. And that's really important, because I've said to you before in these vlogs, with learning half days, we're not suddenly going to start mandating a programme that comes down from the board or comes down from NHS England or any other professional or clinical entity. This has to be built bottom up and side to side. So you do really have a think for the 10th of October about whether there's maybe a peer team that works in your line of work in a different part of the trust. The whole point of learning half days being at the same time across the organisation, for all the challenges that creates, is to permit and support that kind of conversation. I know we are talking to primary care colleagues, to GP groupings, to achieve exactly that kind of permeability across our health and care system. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure it isn't all good. There will be some people who did their maths training, clicked on that button in the top right hand corner, and it said that the learning management system hadn't updated or captured your record. I'm sure, like me, you'll have taken a photograph to show to your line manager that you've put the hard yards in. I'm aware there are people who have caring commitments and professional commitments who maybe had to leave part way through the day. I'm aware there'll be issues with rooms, teams. it's not all about got it right first time. In fact, the whole point of a learning half day is to learn how to learn as an organisation as we go on the way through with this. So look out for the 10th of October. And remember, there should be 15 minutes in there, 10 minutes if you're quick, to get your staff survey done when it launches in a little while. Big thank you to a team of people who put Learning Half Days together. Jude Graham, John Maston, and others will be masterminding a more structured learning and feedback and evaluative exercise as we go through the next few weeks, and indeed as we go through the next few months. Just a couple more things then from me. The business continuity plans, BCPs, don't sound very interesting, and I'm not going to try and make them sound interesting except in these two senses. The first is massive thank you to people who have worked on our business continuity plans at a local level across the organisation. I think probably got more than 150 that are coming together now. It's really important that we have that local connection with our business continuity plans, and that is because even though there are standards for all of these things, we need to be in a position where we know how to evacuate our spaces. We know how to safely convey our patients out of a space if that's what's needed, take care of our colleagues. So there's clearly a context to this. The report has just come out on the atrocity and the tragedy of Grenfell and the neglect that took place there. I'm not going to make that connection other than to recognise that the concurrence is so important that we are clear in our spaces how we keep each other safe. So thank you to people who have done the work on BCPs. My final message is about money. And it's a message I give a lot, but I'm going to keep repeating it. Whatever you hear in the rumour mill about NHS money, whatever appears in the budget, whatever you think you understand about the Trust's financial position, please understand this. If you have got a safety concern, we will find the money. We will understand your safety concern, we will evaluate it clinically and professionally, and money will be found for safety. We may sometimes disagree about whether something is needed for safety, and let's have that honest conversation. But please, please do not stop putting your hand up, coming forward, advocating for things because you think we haven't got any money. Whether we're rich or we're not rich, we are the NHS and we will find the funds to keep you and our patients safe. I just want that message, I know I've given it before, to be crystal clear before the noise of public sector budgeting gears up again as we move towards the budget. Enjoy recovery games, enjoy the flu vaccine afterwards, write it all down in your staff survey. Back next week. Thanks a lot.